last minute, had a mood to function. That double cup will have you stuck until you losing suction. Oh, I gotta gauge a room and dump your head. Will go from the hugest punk into a blooming onion. Saw so much gruesome stuff, I guess I grew accustomed talking to my...
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And with that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsors.
Organic herbs and botanicals, skincare and edibles, wellness for body and mind. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. Ronald Records. From indie gems to classic hits, discover the heart of local music. With live shows all the time, up close and personal, and regular releases on their in-house label. Ronald Records. Supporting the community, one track at a time.
All right. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, shout out The Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
How's it going, everybody? My name is BARZ.
Hello. Dude, thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and welcome back.
Hell yeah.
Back.
Round
Good to
two,
have you
baby.
back. Yeah. And we're here to talk about your new upcoming album, 15 Minutes of Flames, Volume 2.
Yes, sir.
And I am super excited. It is real good, real good. I've heard a majority of it, and I got to tell you, I'm pretty stoked for it, and I hope y'all are as well.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. For those of you that heard the intro, you already got to hear the first track off the album, which is called Number 2, which it's cool, man. You come out swinging. Just, I mean, the beat comes in tough. It's very like hype boom bap beat. It feels kind of counterintuitive, but it's, at the same time, you just come out swinging, and you didn't waste any time. You give the beat its once around to everybody to know it, and then you're just there from bell to buzzer. I am curious to know what made you start with that track.
It just feels like it just really feels like it starts an album, you know. Originally, the intro was actually going to be we were going to take the ticking from the 60 Minutes theme, and I was going to rap to the ticking, but I just kind of didn't want to run into any sample clearance problems and have it taken down, you know. So I was just like, let's start it with this.
I wonder if you can get copywritten for just the ticking.
Well, from my own experiences with sample clearances, you will get dinged faster for TV shows and movies than you will for like actual music samples.
What if you just made your own ticking?
I should have did that.
Damn.
I should have had you there. God damn it.
Damn it. Well, that could be for the third volume.
Yep.
Just record a clock.
There it
and
is.
then use the same clock in the music video.
Yeah.
Boom.
There it is.
Boom. We're building layers here. All right. Well, thank you for sharing all that. Why don't we go ahead? We're going to jump into the next track. Keep things moving here. This next one's called 98444.
Fresh out to 98444. If I get a little bread, I need more. What I focus on is not a 4-door 4. I don't do the buts and the ors, the maybes and mights. You lazy, you could say the advice. Saying what I mean made me this nice. We could be pasty and white, but please don't say we alike. They try to ask me what they...
All right, we're back. Now that track was cool. It was a very immediate switch up from the first one. And I could be off on this, but the beat felt very like St. Louis to me. It definitely had those little like upper ear sounds, and your delivery on it was a lot more like slippery is the best way I can describe it. Like, you know, you kind of just, you're moving back and forth through things. The other one was very like, yeah, we're getting it. That one, I felt like you really kind of breathe in and out of the song. Really, you know, you're just showing off your many different styles and cadences at that point. And then just, you know, as quickly as it starts, it stops, which I imagine is going to kind of be a reoccurring theme for this album. But it's just, boom, you come in, you're hitting hard. And we're going to talk about the total mentality of the album a little later towards the end. But before we get into this next question, do you have anything you'd like to share about this track?
98444 is the zip code I grew up in. If you see the number and you're wondering.
I did Google it.
Nice.
Because I was like, I bet this is a Northern Washington zip code.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Before I actually ask I am curious, what made you want to go with that as the name?
I don't know. I was just talking about some Tacoma stuff on the song, so I was like, let's just name drop the zip code. Everybody does area codes. Let's do the zip code.
Oh, smart. Okay. Man, you should have done, you know how everybody does like phone numbers as their thing? You should have done like a P.O. box.
P.O. box, yeah. Shout out Po Box, by the way.
Yeah. All right. Now for the next one, actually, pretty close to that question. What made you decide to go with this name for the album? And I know you've obviously touched on it in the first one, but let's circle back and put it here.
So 15 Minutes of Flame came about just basically looking at my data for my music and noticing that most people retain about a minute's worth of music. So I just wanted to make a whole bunch of songs 1 minute long. And I was watching TV and they were talking about 15 minutes of fame. So I just was like 15 songs, 15 minutes of flame, and I was just like, the very first one was very successful. So I was just like, I need to do a second one.
Gotcha. Well, it's a cool concept. I really like the album art for it. I think that's a really fun vibe too. That's it. It's fun when you can incorporate like the thought into the like total premise and like delivery.
Hell yeah.
But also, I'm curious, this is just like an out of format question. Do you ever end up writing past the minute?
I think on like one or two songs I wrote past, but then I kind of keep it in pocket. A lot of the verses, I just kind of write them as I'm going through life. I'm just like, I'm in the car, I write it down. I write things down constantly. You can ask my girlfriend, Jasmine. I'm always writing things down in my phone. So.
I'm sure we talked about it during your interview too.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's just like, a lot of times we would go in the studio fresh with nothing, and then we'd start making a beat, and I was like, oh, well, this goes to that, and then I would just kind of piece things together, and then a couple of them went a little bit over time, so I was like, let's just shave some of this off. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was more just because like I was like, I am like, it's hard for me to not write a hook to everything.
Right.
Like, so that was the craziest part for me, for sure. I was just like, I couldn't get through a verse without being like, this has got to have something that goes with it now.
Well, I also like when I started rapping, I came from like the mixtape era. So it's like,
okay. Yeah.
A lot of those mixtapes were like, you spit your hottest verse that you got and then on to the next song. So I kind of I felt like that format was already embedded in me. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you just made your own mixtape.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild. That's a cool concept, though. I dig that. All right. Let's go ahead. We're going to jump on in. We're going to jump ahead for these next couple tracks. This next one's called Cemenciagas.
If I die with some extra comments, don't cry for this vet. I promise the time I forget it's all going right to direct deposit. Better leave all that beef inside of some empanadas or cinder blocks on your feet. They design our Cemenciagas. I love the sound of you screaming underwater, pleading for your mama till you can't be seen. You're sunk so far.
All right, we're back. Okay, now that one was tough as hell. Like, very minimal. The bass doesn't even come in until halfway through, so that's like 30 seconds in before you get it. And your delivery was tight. A bit on the colder side this time. The track was giving off like, I don't know if you're familiar with Prof. I imagine you are.
Oh, yeah.
But definitely had like that air to it. Before we get into the next question, do you have anything you'd like to share about it?
I sampled a Busta Rhymes song on that song.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Which one?
I forgot.
Oh, that's okay.
I forgot.
That's okay.
It's on the Anarchy album.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. What? Did you pick the sample and then go song afterwards, or were you working on the song and then came across the sample?
I was working on the song already, but I was just thinking of melodies, and I always, even though I don't remember the name of the title of the song, I always remember that melody from that song, from that album. So me and my engineer Smoke, we were just like going through the album, like I have to find this melody, and then we found it, and then we just replayed it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Now, obviously I know this is the second one in the installment, but I ask everybody this. What made you go full album? Like, what was like the deciding factor of that? Because this, this could very much live in like single territory and like come out of some crazy release scheme, but you went with a full drop, which I'm on board for.
No, yeah. Well, the first one's a full album too, and I just looked at it like your average car ride's about 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if you can get through my whole album in 15 minutes. You know, which is I feel like albums are a lost art. You know, especially for the younger generation. So I was just like, this is my social experiment, and I was getting a lot of people that were like really young hitting me up saying it felt like they, you know, they're used to skipping on albums, and they're like, I felt like I didn't have to skip anything.
Hell yeah.
And they also said that they felt like it was perfect amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, then I was just like, well, let's do another one.
Oh yeah, I dig that.
Yeah.
Was there like a vision or a direction as you were putting it together? Like, were you like, I wanted to have like this feel or this style, or were you just like, let it happen?
It was more so, I kind of wanted to stay in pocket with the tempo, just because, like, again, in the mixtape era, you know, like, you know, you got a whole bunch of industry beats. You'd put like 20 songs on a mixtape, and then you would just have enough time to do one verse, you know, and then like I just was like, well, let me make some beats that remind me of that era, you know. So I was just like, I'm gonna keep this in the pocket.
Gotcha. Hell yeah. And you definitely nailed it with that. But let's go ahead. Let's jump on into the next track. This one's called Seat Warmer.
Since you've been here, the bench is nice and cozy. Don't ever try to hold me with no mentions, likes, and no streams. You about as raw as never trying pokey. Should I rather watch you catch a flight with Kobe? You got a bunch of heroin and meth inside your codeine. Go rob the Roscoe's for your necklace, slides, and rollie. I heard all the sneaky shit that you said, so sly and low.
All right, we're back. Now this one was different. This one felt a little less like upfront, both beat-wise and delivery-wise, but it also gave some of the like coldest vibes. Like it definitely felt like classic BARZ. Like when I hear your sound in my head, this is the sound that I hear kind of instinctually. It's also one of the longest tracks on the album, I believe, coming in a whopping minute and 16 seconds.
Oh, there was some dead air on that. That's probably why.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
You got the rough draft.
Oh, right. All right, Jimmy, cancel that then. Nope, we're leaving it in. We don't edit. Haha.
Hell yeah.
Okay, well, either way, it is also one of the like first ones that I feel like slows down a little bit too. Like not like drastically, obviously. You know, we're not going ballad, but like it is the first one where you're like, we're pumping the brakes a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. Now, before I get into my next question, do you have anything you'd like to share about it?
Man, I hope you like it.
No, definitely a solid track. All right, then for this next one, do you have a verse that you're particularly proud of from the album? I mean, I guess it's hard to say because it's literally all verses, but
I will say there's a verse on a song, the verse on the song called Female Dog. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's very introspective, you know. It's mainly about like, you know, we're all guilty of something. We're all like, you know, we all have been the villain in somebody's book. So I just more so like, you know, talked about like, hey, I've done shit that I'm not proud of too, you know, and that also the karma is real, you know, and it'll come back to you, you know, if you do bad stuff.
Gotcha. Well, damn, now I'm sad we didn't get to talk about that one, but makes me even more curious to hear about it when it comes out.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, now let's go ahead. We're going to get back into it. This next track's called Lawn Care.
I mow 'em down from the tallest grass to crop them flat. Think you step and watch 'em hobble back without a bottom half. Say I pay for pussy, I'll admit it. I just bought a cat, a litter box, some kibble stock. Your face is what she's swatting at. Kill the cat just to show you I'm leaving without a scratch. You ate a bunch of beans, but me, I came with.
All right, we're back. Now that track felt like it could have been the album title track if the album didn't already have a title. There was something super grabbing about it. There was something about the beat that felt very like Mob Rule-esque. Am I right about that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Shout out Mob Rule.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Mob Rule. I really dig this track. And not just I didn't know it was his at the time, so I'm saying this just on that, but like it might be one of my favorites from the album. We'll find out yours a little bit later. But I feel like it had this very like classic delivery with like the beat adding just the right amount of tension with like the super dissonant strings. It all came together really well.
Hell yeah.
I am curious to know, before we get into it, do you have anything you'd like to share about it?
Man, shout out Mob Rule, shout out Quinto. I discovered Mob Rule through Quinto. I watched a reel and I was like, who made this beat? And then I found Mob Rule and we've been working ever since. Mob Rule has 3 songs on the album. We're just going to keep working.
Hell yeah. He actually messaged me when y'all started working together. He's like, I'm working with BARZ. I was like, yes.
Nice.
Honestly, I don't know how that hadn't happened already. Like, you two seem like you're just in such a similar lane. So I'm sad I didn't realize you two didn't know each other already, or I would have tried to connect that line a long time ago. That makes too much sense. So I'm really excited to see what y'all do from here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Now we're going to go ahead. We're going to get a technical question out of the way, and actually ties into this well. Was it all like recorded and mixed and mastered in the same place, or did you kind of do it all over?
Recorded, mixed, and mastered all in the same place. I record with a producer named Smoke M2D6. He's from the super group of, the Northwest called the Old Dominion. But yeah, Smoke is a really good engineer, real good producer, real good rapper. He's a man of many talents, but just something about when I record with him, like, it just flows. Like, we get shit done real fast. Even today, like, we recorded 3 songs and, probably like 30 minutes apiece.
Hell yeah.
And that's from nothing, from no beat, no lyrics, nothing. Recorded, mixed, mastered, half hour.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's rad. As far as like the beat selection goes, I know you worked with a small handful of producers for this. How did you go about like picking them all out? Like, did you hit them each up individually, or did they just like send you some and you like found them through that?
Well, anything that I do with Smoke for the these albums, the 15 Minute Flame series, is that's all on the spot. We make the beat on the spot right then and there. With Mob Rule, he usually sends me like a pack of beats, and I'll just kind of go through and see if something catches my ear or whatnot.
Lord knows he's always got a pack ready.
Oh, dude, Mob Rule, he keeps the clip loaded.
Yeah,
for sure. And then the song number 2, that guy, his name is Dr. Chop. He's from Europe, and I just heard his style of beats one day. Like, I came across his stuff, and I was like, I need some stuff like that. I heard that beat. I was like, I need that.
Hell yeah.
And I got another song with him too coming.
Hell yeah. Well, definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah.
How long did it all take? Like, I know it's kind of rough to measure an exact start and end.
Well, I've been recording this album throughout the year, like, just kind of whenever I get a chance, but I've also been putting out a song a month. So just like whenever I got chances to work on it, we would do it, and usually we would probably knock out like 3-4 songs per session.
Okay. Hell yeah. All right, well then we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna jump ahead for this next one again. This next track's called Menthol.
You can't smoke a Marb to this. You gotta smoke a Benson and Hedges. The type of motion I got don't come with taking breaks. Went from mild to hot. You could call that a change of pace. Cemetery was full, but for you, I think we could make some space. You dope, now you clocked around your phone, cause that ain't the case. If you need clarity, I could make a real crater.
All right, we're back. Now this track was a vibe. It was so smooth. The beat felt like it was like a cloud, or just like driving on the beach. And you matched that energy perfectly. Your opening was super smooth. The way you just kind of, it was nice that you like gave it a bit of setup. You know what I mean? You took that time at the beginning, because I feel like all the other tracks are definitely like, we're getting into it, we're going. You got to fit a lot in a little. This one was the one, like, I really feel like you just kind of, you took the breath of the song and like made it really present on your side as well. And your flow was so smooth. So smooth. It was just straight up butter. But with that said, the hard ending, that just whoomph, beat ends, last word, fin. It hit a little bit harder on that track because of that. So I thought that was a nice touch.
Appreciate it.
Now before we get into the next question, do you have anything you'd like to share about it?
Man, I just want people to hear it. I want them to hear the punchlines and hear, the double entendres, really want them to hear that.
That is definitely one of the wordier ones too.
Oh yeah.
Now, since we're getting close to the end, I'm going to hit you with what I think is, the densest question. New question. I forgot I changed it. How do you want this album to connect with other people?
Just people that are fans of hip hop, people that are fans of lyrics, people that just like to hear something and rewind it back and be like, what did he say? Or what does this mean? I come from an era where, like lyrics mattered. Like, not saying that they don't now, they do, but like from a point where it's just like, I always found a lot of joy when I would go and listen to something, and then I would hear it for the third time, and I would catch something I didn't get, and then I'd be like, "That's what he meant," or "That's what she meant," And that aspect of hip hop is so important to me. So I just really want people to listen to it and be like, "Oh, that's what he meant." That's like a huge factor to me, and that's one of the biggest things I enjoy about people that listen to the music. Is like the beats are obviously, you need beats, like that's important, but I also feel like those lyrics are just so important, and fluctuating art, sometimes they're popular, sometimes they're not, but to me, they always have been. So, that's just what I want people to get out of that,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I think you definitely nailed it with this one.
Appreciate it.
I haven't gotten to hear everything yet, but just from the tracks that I did have that I played through all the way, it's definitely got, like, I feel like in any order, it's got good listen to, which is really powerful.
Appreciate that, Paul.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, now we're going to jump into the second to last track.
Nobody said it wasn't
this track's
gonna be
called
uphill. Couldn't adjust to my stature from a spine cracker. Bars with some investors now. I call them my linebackers. You might have to run this one back again. Time travelers. This game make sure you won't have no more friends. Ain't that right, Chandler? Headphones got more dope inside than Walter White's camper. I won't ever pick a side.
All right, we're back. Okay, now I was wondering when this kind of track was going to come up. Something that like pulls at the heartstrings. Something that reminds people you're here, you're doing it, you're aware of it. This track felt almost like the most organic one beat-wise as well, with the clean marching snares and the choir voices. If that track had a hook, it would be an anthem. You know what I mean? It really just it's one that was made to grab the people, and you nailed it on that one.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So, before we get into it, do you have anything you'd like to share about it?
Man, I mean, that song, interesting about that song is usually like when we put a sample inside a beat, we're going through them for a minute, probably spend like 15, 20 minutes looking through samples. He pressed play. I was like, that's it.
Nice.
So
I love that. I love those moments so much.
Yeah. In that session, that was literally the first thing he played. I was like, that's it. Let's run it. And we mixed that one in probably 15 minutes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good to know.
Oh, yeah.
And it definitely makes sense for it, too. Okay, now, we've only got one track left, so I'm going to ask probably the most difficult question. Do you have a favorite track on the album?
All of them.
Nice.
Every one of them.
Hell yeah.
Sounds cliche, but there's different aspects that I like about each and every one of them.
You're the only person that hasn't picked a track, so it's not cliche in the least.
Nice.
But also, in all fairness, it is kind of a body of work, style of work, so it makes more sense that you would have that attachment to it, especially with the way you've been kind of like organically building it in between your process.
Right.
So I could do that for sure.
Appreciate it.
All right, but with that being said, we do have one last track to go. Would you like to tell everybody what it's called?
Haymakers 2.
Bitch, I'm top, fuck that, fuck you and fuck a list. This shit like a hand job, guess you gotta come to grips. Kept my problems bottled inside, I can't even double fist. And I got to a bag, but yours shit, I forgot that it wasn't zip. Starving soul beast, the bony cheeks with no Adobe Suite. Think I won't go past in that, you'll need more than a goalie's reach. Got so many subs in your...
All right, we're back. What a powerful ending. I mean, a great way to wrap up the album. The name is very fitting, too. Very fitting, because you definitely, I know I've said it about this whole album, but you came out swinging in that track.
Appreciate
and it felt like you took the gloves off for that one for sure. You didn't hold back at all. It's also, this may not be true in the end, but when I wrote this, it was true. The shortest track of all the ones sent. And I mean, even beating out 98444 by 2 seconds. So it's just a cool way to end the album, man. It's a really interesting one. I'm curious to know, do you have anything you'd like to share about it?
So Haymakers 2 is the sequel to the first song on the first volume called Haymakers. And it's basically like back in the day, like when I'd have a group of friends and we would like rap and stuff like that. If somebody said a punchline that was just so hard, everybody'd be like, that's not a punchline, it's a haymaker. you know, so I'd be like, well, I need to, if I have this beat, it's got to be, every bar has to be a haymaker, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much just like, I felt like you know, that's probably going to be a reoccurring like song on each one. Like every album's going to end with that one, you know, that is just, you know, in my opinion, undeniable.
Hell yeah. Now, I'm sorry, I did not get to the end of the first one. Is it the same beat?
No.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
That would be crazy if you kept the same beat and then live you performed the song as it got longer and longer, and there was a live only chorus.
Well, the thing about those, the two that we've done so far, is that they are the same tempo and they're also in the same key. So technically, it could be the same beat,
Hell yeah.
kind of.
Oh shit, that would be the coolest medley of like your own music. All right, well, I'm leaving it in.
Hey,
Decided it out. So take it and do whatever you want with it from there.
Hell yeah.
But that being said, I'm going to go ahead and share my final thoughts if you don't have anything else you'd like to share at the moment.
All good.
Oh, yeah. So, you know, this is the second installation of the 15 Minutes of Flames. And, oh, my notes got all messed up here. And so, you know, it's not like you were hitting us with something new with this concept. Obviously, you know, it is the continuation. But I think what it does this time around is shows that your theory is correct. And not only is it correct, you did it again. You know what I mean? You were able to come in, you're able to bring something that was super interesting, super good to listen to. You didn't have a hook. You know what I mean? There was nothing catchy. There was no gimmicks. So anything that like resonates with someone, especially lyrics wise, has to come from the meat of the song, which, you know, you've touched on many times during this. And it's crazy to me that the main part of the message, or the main part of every track, is what gets to be received by everybody. You know, there's no phone numbers to remember. There's no eat, pray, love style slogans. There's not even some kind of like weird made up words except for Cemenciagas, which is that's a good one. I'm going to leave it there. But also it shows that you can bring so many different flavors to the table. Like, you know, you literally, you could have renamed the album 15 Herbs and Spices if you wanted. And people would have got it. People would have got it. But I mean, in all seriousness, man, you brought something really strong to the table for the second time. And you're showing people what it looks like when you actually trim the fat and just get back to it. So it's a really cool album, man. I'm really excited for it to come out.
Appreciate that a lot, bro. Thank you.
Hell yeah. All right. Now, I do have one last question to go. But before we do, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Why don't you tell everybody what we can look forward to in, you know, the next 6 months?
Obviously, this album coming out, and I've been releasing one song a month for this whole year. So every month there will be a new song. And my goal, January 2nd, I said, was I wanted to put out 50 songs in a year. So after this album comes out, we're going to be sitting at, I think, 22.
Hell yeah.
So I'm about halfway there. So we're going to try to make the goal happen. I've never done it before, so hopefully I can.
You're definitely not far off from it. So I think if you could surprise us with one more album, you could nail it, no problem.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can get it done. I definitely have I have a fully loaded clip right now. So we're just, you know, trying to figure out what's, you know, meant to be released and whatnot.
Hell yeah. I dig that. For the next one then, go and look straight at your camera. Tell everybody how they can find you.
My name is BARZ, and you can find me anywhere on social media, minus TikTok. I don't have a TikTok, I'm sorry. But you can find me on Spotify, every single DSP out. I'm everywhere. Google me.
Hell yeah. Hey, I don't have a TikTok either, but I only have an Instagram and YouTube, so.
Okay.
Well, I guess on Spotify too, but I'm working on getting off of there. Somebody, if you know how to do Spotify for podcasters, anywhere else, message me. All right. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Man, again, shout out Mob Rule, shout out Quinto, the whole Van City, the whole Portland area. Shout out the whole Northwest, man. You know, there's a lot of talent, you know, and outside of that, it's not just Seattle, you know, like I come from a small city by Seattle, but, you know, I'm really blessed to say that I met people like Mob Rule and Quinto, you know, because, you know, I didn't know too much about the hip hop in Vancouver area, you know, so to hear them was like, whoa, you know, like there's a lot of talent out here, you know, so, you know, shout out to them, you know, and just shout out to everybody that's been on the album, you know, and like, especially Smoke and, Again, Mob Rule, Dr. Chop, my guy DJ QJ is on there. Shout out QJ, and just everybody that was a part of this. Shout out my baby Jazz, and yeah, shout out to life, man. Shout out to waking up today.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to you, bro.
Oh.
I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud of everything you've been doing. I'm proud to watch your progression. You're not afraid to take risks. You're a real community man, and like you're bringing people together when you don't have to, and that's huge, like all we want as artists is an outlet. And, a lot of people, they end up stop doing it because they feel like they don't have an outlet. So the simple fact that you're taking your time, which is, in my opinion, more valuable than money, to take that time and give us that outlet, man, like forever grateful, bro.
Oh, thank
forever
you.
Grateful.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Might be the nicest way anybody's ever put it on the show, too. So somebody clip this for me. All right. With that being said, then, like I said, I've got one last question. But before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second.
Yes, sir.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, the final question. Was there an album or music in particular that inspired and influenced the making of this album?
Myself.
Okay.
I started out hustling my own mixtapes, right in the heart of it, the heart of the city, and I didn't have any beats. I couldn't afford them. So I would steal all my beats and I would rap to them.
You'd borrow them.
Right. But that in the beginning of all this it helped me create my name. I was known from that, and I became known from that in my area. So, I wanted to just continue doing that type of stuff, So, yeah, like one day I drove past this liquor store that I used to stand outside of and sell my mixtapes, 7 Deuce Liquor Store, if you know, you know. And pretty much like I just, I had a vision with that, and just ran with it. And here we are.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that, man. And thank you so much for spending time with us, especially in this super toasty room, and sharing more about the album with us. Really appreciate it. I believe this comes out 2 days after the album comes out, so y'all have hopefully heard it by now, and now you get to know a little bit more about it. But man, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity, my friend.
Sir. And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
BARZ.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
Dabbled in pills and I profited off a couple scams, but karma got me back in ways that I finally understand. It's 2 choices, you either run or stand. Wasn't the best fighter, but when it comes to these beats, all my punches land. Life's a test, but not the kind that's gonna take tutors. Dick curve, but understand I'm still a straight shooter. RSO on my tongue cause it's known to shrink tumors. I'll still do this shit if it's 8 million to 8 viewers.